Live on Extra Frame from Harvest Park Bowl in Brentwood, California, Mike Jakubowski and Phil Brylow. And it's the PBA 50 Northern California Classic Round 1 match play will go to bonus bowling. It's a roll-off, a tie at plus 258 between John Burkett and PBA Hall of Famer Parker Bohn III. Bohn was sitting in 23rd place after 2 matches. He charged all the way into contention to move on. The top 8 will move on into round 2 of our match play. Chuck Richardson jumped from below the line to join Walter Ray Williams Jr., Mark McCreary, Sam Macarone, Eddie Graham, Craig Miller, and Warren Nelson. And who will join them, Bohn or John Burkett?
You got to make Bohn the favorite coming into this one. The big 258, the big jam off the sheet from the 5th frame on last game, where Burkett had those 4 consecutive 10 pins in a row. He carries one of those on either side of that string, and he doesn't have to worry about the tiebreaker. But Burkett punching out in the 9th and 10th after 5 consecutive single pins to get into this tiebreaker.
John wants to be in these situations to face the best in crucial pressure situations. He's got it right here. John, a finalist last year. He gets a late fall of the back row. The 9-pin goes the second time around.
Now he's got the angle on that ball working a little bit better. He's a little shallower on that last pair he was on 13 and 14. We've seen some scores come off at 23 and 24 today. This, something tells me you're not going to be able to shoot 240 and cruise to a victory here with these 2 players on the lanes.
Coming up next, live and Extra Frame, it'll be round 2 of match play. And who will be the 8th to join the top 8 overall qualifiers from our first 2 days? Burkett 6 around the 10.
Just the big time wrap on that one.
Already advancing, Mark McCreary, Walter Ray Williams Jr., Warren Nelson, Sam Macarone, Eddie Graham, Chuck Richardson, and Craig Miller. The 8th will be the winner of this game, and they will join the top 8 overall qualifiers after 16 games here. Ron Moore, Pete Weber, Noel Vasquez, Brian Cooper, Robert Brown, Brian LeClaire, Harry Sullins, and Ty Dawson coming up next live and Extra Frame. Our next streaming window will start at 5:45 p.m. Eastern Time. We'll have a re-oil of the facility by Sean Perry, and then we'll compete with round 2, which will feature 6 games of match play, and the top 5 advancing to tonight's stepladder final beginning at approximately 9:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Bohn looking to double up and take a quick lead here in the roll-off. Mixes out the 10, gets it. Parker Bohn III in the position round match put up a 258 against Warren Nelson without bonus pins to get to 258. John Burkett got there in a losing effort by having to punch out in the 10th frame, and both players eliminating our defending champion, Amleto Monicelli. And Bohn with an opening turkey.
He made that change after his 2nd game of this match play round. Had the piece of equipment he liked in his hand, and he's taken the belly we saw during qualifying out of play. He's picked up the speed, playing very direct, and nothing but a bunch of strikes since making that change in game 3.
And Burkett will reset.
Yeah,
he stepped off the rubber. That's not a balk.
We saw that John a little bit earlier. The ball's coming down the swing. I don't know if he's got a little catch on the he likes his thumb hole real tight, so he can just stay relaxed with the hand. And sometimes I think he can feel a pinch when the ball starts to come down from the top, and he knows it's going to hang. You're better off just stepping off the rubber and regathering yourself. Much better with the timing and rhythm.
Power mix, and 9 and a wiggle.
That's an unusual 8-pin. on a light hit like that. Everything just kind of flew away at the last moment.
Burkett made his first PBA 50 stepladder a year ago right here at Harvest Park Bowl.
He's got his Pittsburgh Penguin colors on today.
On the flip side, Parker Bohn the third, 0-2 in match play to begin. Looking to run a table, win 4 straight. And it's huge, Phil, because pins are dropped next round.
And you got to feel whoever wins the stepladder match and advances in the match play round 2, they're going to have some momentum behind them. They get out with a couple early wins in that match play round. You might be thinking stepladder for either Burkett or Bohn.
Burkett in the pocket. Strikes now on left and right lane. But Bohn in command with a turkey working and can step on the gas here in the 4th and 5th. Tie for the 8th spot in our round 1 of match play utilizing the matrix of fairness.
Fairness.
Doesn't get more fair than a roll-off to determine who advances in the next round of competition.
Yeah, on a neutral pair where neither player hit during match play. It was a tough one to find.
Light, mixing, and almost left the 10-pin there with that melange.
And that was quick off the thumb. That was all release. He was online. You could see that ball just did not rev up like previous shots had done.
Good cover for Hall of Famer Parker Bohn III. He leads by 19. And no matter what he does here, Phil, Burkett can step up, strike in the 5th and 6th, and take the lead in this match.
Take a 1-pin lead.
Parker sensing that moment and taking a re-rack.
Yeah, Burkett, I'm just looking right now. He's not even paying attention to what Parker's doing. He's just staring off towards the wall by lane 32. I think he's trying to figure out how many kernels of corn are in those bowling pin corn cobs on the wall. And now he sees Parker come back.
Not the prettiest of hits,
He'll
but
get
10
up.
down for Bohn. And now this is a situation that Burkett tells us time and again he wants to face. He wants to be under pressure. He wants to face the best of the best. And this is getting your money's worth. Hall of Famer with a chance to advance into the next round. And now a chance to step up and find a double to take the lead. He trails by 19, a strike to cut it to 9. 5th frame. And he slaps a 10 that time, so Burkett finds the double. And now he'll move to the left lane with a chance to take the lead in this match. Winner advances into the 2nd round of match play. You think of all the pressure-packed situations he's been in. Just the contrast of being in a stadium of screaming people when you're doing what you're doing to the absolute contrast of no one saying a word when you're trying to do what you're doing in this environment.
And then on top of it, well, if the ball gets hit by the batter, you get 8 other guys that can help you out with making the out. The only way you're getting those 10 guys at the end of the lane down is doing it on your own.
To take the lead.
Needs to push.
Burkett doubles. And he takes the lead from Parker Bohn III, who's on a strike and take it right back, but an important key sequence of frames as quality pitches on both lanes for Burkett.
And he brought the angle. If you compare those shots in the 5th and 6th to what he had in the 2nd and 3rd, he brought the angle down just a little bit, not as steep on the back end, keeping it in control. Whereas he had that light rattler 8-pin, that was a little bit, he knew to bring the angle in a bit, get the pins to mix up a bit better, and showed it on that light hit where he kicked the 10-pin out in the 5th frame.
Bohn can steal the lead back. And he shoves the 10 out, and Parker takes the lead right back.
All Parker's worried about is making sure that ball is rolling strong at about 52, 53 feet, because even without a lot of entry angle, that strong roll is going to get all those pins moving in the pin deck. If he gets a little amped with it, throws a little too fast and doesn't get it rolling that soon, that's where you're going to see him leave a corner. Or if he gets really fast at the speed, how he left that 3.6 a little while ago. And Parker doesn't like the way it feels on the push away.
It's a good one.
Oh, you knew it wasn't a 240 was not a guarantee win in this match. You knew it coming in the way these guys were throwing it all during this match play round one.
Just getting rolling for you here today on Extra Frame. Yet to come, round 2 of match play and our stepladder final. Bohn to increase his lead. And he faces a 7-pin
roll
of the flat variety.
Yeah, roll picked up a little late. And the ball had the deflection. That 4-pin did nothing once it reached the channel.
So once again, Burkett will be able to step up and take the lead, this time with just 1 strike. And now maybe perhaps the momentum will shift to Burkett. He has a chance to take the lead with this shot in the 7th.
Parker talking over that last shot with tournament director John Weber. John down in the concourse area. Keeping an eye on this match.
And another reset.
See it again. He gets a little late with the initial push away and he gets that hang up. He feels it on the top of his swing.
Stepped off the rubber again.
Yeah, if you're not making that statement, Ron Moore just walked by and said, "Wow, Burkett stepped off the rubber again." Yeah, you got to make that. I don't care how cliched it is.
Yeah.
Take me to task, internet world. If Al Michaels were here, he'd say the same thing.
Well, it's not like he's busy holding a runner on first right now. He's not. Well, he could be doing that to Parker Bohn, make him think about it a little bit more, but that's what rear racks are for.
Here's to take the lead back. And he delivers a perfect pocket shot. Confident stroke and 10 back.
That's why everything with these PBA players, PBA 50 players, it all keys with that push away. If you make a mistake, when that ball's leaving your body, when gravity starts to take over on everything, it's hard to catch up and be consistent. And when you take the time to regroup, and it's not just a physical regroup, you have to mentally regroup as well.
Now Burkett to extend his lead.
Gets it out to 12.
John Burkett with a 5-bagger right back at the Hall of Famer.
12-pin lead for Burkett. And Bohn can't cut into that lead unless he doubles in the 8th and 9th.
So now Burkett putting Bohn in the position he was just in, needing 2 strikes to cut into a lead. Winner advances into the round of 2 match play that's coming up next here live in Extra Frame at 5:45 Eastern Time. First Bohn, 8th frame.
Solid.
No doubt.
Just a little bit purer off the hand than the last shot on 23. And that 21-pin swing, when you don't carry that strike, you put the spare on the board. That's your difference in the match right now.
Bohn trails by 12 and can cut it to 2. Flat 7 here last time.
And the scoring system in bowling, which rewards strings of strikes in a row. Both players the same number of strikes so far this game, but Burkett puts his 2 spares together. Gets the bonus for the 5-bagger as compared to Bohn going 3 strikes, 2 strikes, and a single strike.
That's light. And a big break as the 3 goes sideways. talking to Burkett yesterday, he said the difference between him succeeding was stringing strikes. He'd double, he'd ring 10. He'd double, he'd leave something else. But now the difference here is, as you mentioned, the string of strikes. And now hammer in hand for Burkett.
Yeah, gets this one in the 9th. He's back out by 12 and get the first 2 in the 10th and 9 to shut out.
10-pin stands.
And the lead swings again. .248 the maximum for Burkett this game.
Burkett must convert to maintain a 1-pin advantage.
And I said at the start with 240 was not going to be a cruise to victory.
Burkett leads by 1.
Burkett's probably still kicking himself for missing a 10-pin the first game today. I mean, he followed it up with a 5-bagger after that, but that's 11 pins where you're not in a tie situation. He's made every 10-pin since.
One opportunity for one player to advance. 248 max for Burkett and 257 for Bohn. 10th frame.
Clean out of the paw. Wow, that really jumped. I'm surprised. It looked really clean at release.
Spare and a fill for 236.
9 spare strike for Bohn is 236. Then it's single ball roll-offs if it gets to that point.
On the outside, but covers.
Every pin important on this fill ball.
.236 for Burkett. We're not done yet. 8 counts a loser here.
8 count of the first ball is done for. 9 spare strike is a tie. Strike on the first ball sends Bohn into our next match play round. And Burkett shaking his head at that first shot of the 10th frame.
Bohn last 2 strikes here. That 8 count came back in the 4th.
And for the first time the entire game, Burkett's watching what Bohn's doing on the lane.
Confident pitch. Parker Bohn, Hall of Famer. 0-2, staring at the rest of the field. And he claws all the way back into the next round, and pins will drop as 16 players will start from scratch. Round 2 match play coming up. We'll roll the stream for you at 5:45 Eastern and likely start sometime beyond that as we will recondition the pairs. And so for now, we'll say we'll begin match play round 2 at approximately 6 p.m. Eastern. For Phil Bridle, this is Mike Jakubowski. And for Craig Elliott, John Weber, Linda Carter, Jim Wangerman, and everybody here at Harvest Park Bowl. Bonus bowling. Parker Bohn III advances. Round 2 of match play coming up next in the PBA 50 Northern California Classic.